Should I go to Gypsy's book signing with Didi?
Here, fascination and moral debates often collide. Few names spark as much conversation as gypsy-rose Blanchard. And now, she's back in the spotlight, not for her infamous court case, the deeply complex story of abuse, or the shocking crime that landed her behind bars. No, this time, Gypsy is making headlines for her new memoir, My Time to Stand, and an upcoming meet and greet event set for December 13th. But instead of a warm embrace from the public, the announcement has ignited a firestorm of controversy. Sympathy, outrage, and endless debate are swirling around her name once more. Gypsy's story, a twisted saga of abuse, crime, and survival, has always been a cultural lightning rod, but this event seems to have cracked open an entirely new layer of discourse. And trust us, the drama surrounding this memoir promotion is every bit as complicated as her past.
I'm gonna bring Didi to the book signing. Didi, you gonna like that. You gonna really like that. Didi said she's excited. She's really excited. She's gonna like that. She's never been on a plane before.
So let's set the scene. On December 13 at 5 p.m., Gypsy will step into the public eye once again at the historic Garden District bookstore in New Orleans. The event promises to be a rare opportunity for fans and curious onlookers to meet her, get a signed copy of her memoir, My Time to Stand, and even snap a photo with her. On the surface, it sounds like any other book signing, a standard stop on an author's promotional tour. But this is gypsy-rose Blanchard we're talking about, and her fame doesn't come from literary achievements or Hollywood blockbusters.
I'm so excited that my new book, My Time to Stand, is coming out very, very soon. It comes out December 10th. And you can get your copy, whether it be the original copy, an audio version, or a signed copy, in the links below.
Her story, seared into the public consciousness through documentaries, podcasts, and Hulu's dramatized series The Act, is rooted in a true crime case that gripped the world. Her notoriety stems from the murder of her mother, Didi Blanchard, a shocking crime that exposed years of abuse and manipulation. It's a tale so polarizing that it has sparked debates about morality, justice, and redemption. And now, her decision to host a paid meet and greet is reigniting those debates with a fresh wave of intensity.
But yet you have the audacity to name your book My Time to Stand.
Which one of y'all going to go see gypsy-rose on Friday the 13th? The girl who unalived her mom using a man with autism on Friday the 13th. For $35. What type of luck do you think that is?
Here's the deal. For $35, attendees get a signed hardcover copy of My Time to Stand and the chance to meet Gypsy in person. Sounds reasonable, right? After all, celebrity meet and greets often cost hundreds of dollars. But critics argue that the price tag isn't the issue, it's the principle. Why is Gypsy charging for this event at all? What does it say about her perception of herself and her place in the public eye? For many, the very idea feels exploitative, especially given the dark and violent origins of her notoriety.
Hello everybody, good morning. So I'm so excited that my new book, My Time to Stand, is coming out very, very soon. It comes out December 10th. And you can get your copy, whether it be the original copy, an audio version, or a signed copy, in the links below.
Let's talk numbers. The hardcover edition of her memoir retails for $26.96, leaving $8.04 unaccounted for, essentially the cost of Gypsy's autograph and a photo. It's not an exorbitant fee compared to what other public figures charge, but this isn't just about the money. Gypsy isn't a pop star or an influencer with a fan base eager to buy merch and selfies. Her fame is inseparably tied to a tragic, violent crime. For many, paying to meet her feels like crossing an ethical line, as if her story is being commodified in the most uncomfortable way.
Wow, Gypsy. You collected SSI until you were 23 for having walking issues, but yet you have the audacity to name your book My Time to Stand. According to this, you...
And the internet? Oh, it's not holding back. One viral tweet sneered, $35 to meet Gypsy-Rose? Why not throw in a commemorative mug that says, I met a murderer? Another user quipped, "Imagine paying $8 for a photo with someone whose claim to fame is one of the darkest crimes of the decade. What is she even thinking?" The outrage isn't just about the money, it's about what that $8 represents. To some, it feels like a tangible price tag on a deeply disturbing story, one that many believe shouldn't be used for profit in the first place.
You collected SSI because you were unable to hold down a job, because you were unable to walk properly. And
this meet and greet isn't just a promotional stop, it's a cultural flashpoint, sparking fresh questions about Gypsy's place in the public eye. Can she truly be seen as a redeemed figure, or is her return to public life a step too far? For her supporters, this event might symbolize a brave reclaiming of her narrative. For her critics, it's an uncomfortable reminder of the blurred lines between accountability and exploitation. Either way, December 13th is shaping up to be a day that won't soon be forgotten.
So according to Google, you could face up to 5 years of imprisonment for SSI fraud. Instead, you got 8 years for murdering your mother and wrote a book naming it after your fraudulent behavior.
The tea is scalding, and gypsy-rose Blanchard is right in the middle of it. The true crime figure, once a symbol of victimhood, is now facing a storm of criticism, as she seems to position herself more like a celebrity than a person grappling with the moral weight of her past. Her latest move? A $35 meet and greet event to promote her memoir, My Time to Stand. And let's just say, the internet isn't exactly giving her a standing ovation. Here's the vibe. Gypsy, who gained worldwide attention for her shocking story of abuse and crime, is being accused of turning her notoriety into a cash grab. She's acting like she's a reality TV star, one commenter snarked. This isn't redemption, it's a cash grab.
This is actually kind of the first time that I've been honest. Besides being honest, with my attorneys. Even that, I haven't been completely honest with them.
Ouch. The backlash isn't just about the $35 ticket price, though that hasn't helped. It's about what that event represents, a perceived attempt to monetize a deeply complex and morally fraught narrative. Many are saying she should be focusing on rebuilding her life quietly and responsibly, not profiting off her story. And honestly, it's hard to blame them for feeling some type of way.
Which one of y'all going to go see Gypsy-Rose on Friday the 13th? The girl who unalived her mom using a man with autism on Friday the 13th. For $35. What type of luck do you think that is? You already know she had the shirt on that says, "Devils roll the dice."
To really get why this meet and greet has sparked such outrage, we have to rewind a bit. When Gypsy's story first hit the headlines, the world was shocked. Here was a young woman who had been subjected to horrific abuse by her mother, Diva Blanchard.
But you, white friend, can't. I want to know who is paying $35 for her to sign their book. It's included in the book, I guess. And it's her time to stand. I guess you'll be watching.
Who forced Gypsy to fake severe illnesses and live as a disabled child, all while controlling every aspect of her life. Didi's actions, rooted in Munchausen syndrome by proxy, were nothing short of monstrous, and Gypsy was initially seen as a tragic victim. But then the narrative took a darker turn. It wasn't just that Gypsy escaped her abusive mother, it was how she did it. In 2015, Didi was murdered by Gypsy's then-boyfriend Nick Godejohn in a crime that Gypsy had planned. While Nick carried out the brutal act, Gypsy's role in orchestrating the murder shattered the purely sympathetic image the public had of her.
But I want to know who is doing this. It's in New Orleans. Y'all better be trolling her. That's her. Because this cannot be figured out.
Suddenly, she wasn't just a victim, she was also a participant in a chilling crime. And it's this duality that's haunted Gypsy's public image ever since. Over the years, Gypsy's interviews and public appearances have done little to repair that image. Critics argue that her narrative has been inconsistent, with key details of her story changing depending on the audience.
Friend, it is her time to stand. Do you hear me? I just want to elaborate on something really quick, because Friday the 13th, the movie, look up the chant. And what does the chant mean? When I tell you...
This has led many to question whether she's genuinely learned from her past or if she's simply manipulating the narrative. Something her mother may have taught her all too well. As one social media user put it, gypsy-rose wants us to see her as a victim, but her actions tell a different story. She's still playing the game. And now, this meet and greet drama has only poured gasoline on the fire. It's not just online outrage either. There are whispers of protests at the event itself. Some advocacy groups and true crime enthusiasts are planning peaceful demonstrations to call out what they see as Gypsy's exploitation of her story. But the protests aren't just about Gypsy. Many are advocating for Nick Godejone, who remains in prison serving a life sentence for the murder. His supporters argue that he was manipulated by Gypsy and has been unfairly vilified while she reaps the benefits of public sympathy. One protester put it bluntly, Gypsy gets to sell a memoir, but Nick rots in prison. Where's the justice in that? And speaking of that memoir, My Time to Stand isn't exactly winning over skeptics either. The title alone has raised eyebrows, with critics calling it ironic and even disrespectful. After all, Gypsy was never physically unable to stand. Her mother forced her into a wheelchair to fake disabilities, but Gypsy always knew the truth about her own mobility.
When you look that up, it is gonna blow your wig cap right back. Child. You can't tell me everything's a coincidence. My therapist told me there's no such...
The book, marketed as a candid account of her abuse, prison time, and journey toward self-discovery, has been dismissed by some as more of the same, an attempt to frame herself as the ultimate victim while glossing over the darker aspects of her story. While the book promises to highlight her struggles and unveil the painful realities of her past, critics aren't buying it. They're calling it less of a truth-telling memoir and more of a strategic attempt to spin the narrative, painting Gypsy as the ultimate victim, while conveniently sidestepping her own role in the infamous murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. Here's the tea. Gypsy shares intimate details about her abuse, her life in prison, and her path to self-discovery, but there's one glaring issue. The only other person who could have validated or contradicted her version of events is no longer alive. Yup, her mother Dee Dee, the architect of Gypsy's trauma, is gone, leaving Gypsy's account unchallenged. And that, darling, has left many people side-eyeing the entire story.
Coincidences. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what the therapist told me, Bookie. Something ain't right. Are y'all smelling what The Rock is cooking? Or what Gypsy's cooking up?
Skepticism runs deep. Gypsy has openly admitted in the past that her mother taught her how to lie and manipulate, a skill set that some say she's mastered and carried into adulthood. In fact, a growing number of theorists suggest that Gypsy might not have been entirely innocent in Dee Dee's schemes. Sure, she was a victim of horrific abuse, but did she also reap the benefits of the financial perks and public sympathy that came with faking a debilitating illness? It's a spicy theory that remains unproven, but speaks volumes about how deeply some people mistrust her. And this skepticism isn't just about the memoir. Critics argue that both the book and her $35 meet and greet event are part of a larger pattern of manipulation and self-interest. Gypsy isn't just sharing her story. They say she's monetizing it, rebranding herself in a way that keeps her public image alive while avoiding full accountability for her role in her mother's death.
Something right, y'all. But it is illegal, but it's not illegal. Like in certain states, it's illegal. In Louisiana, it like there's clause in it. I don't know how she's bypassing it other than putting it into a trust.
It's all about the narrative, one skeptic quipped online. Gypsy's learned how to play the victim card perfectly. So what do you think? Is Gypsy's memoir a heartfelt attempt to shed light on her experiences? Or is it just another chapter in a long history of manipulation? Would you fork over $35 for the chance to meet her and snag an autograph? Or do you think it's time for her to step out of the spotlight altogether? The debate is hotter than ever, and we want to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay in the loop on all the latest gossip and drama. Because in the world of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the story is never as simple as it seems.